Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Brewing Conversation. My name is Matt Ross,
I am Charlie Van.
and we're actually doing this a second time because earlier
Wrong move, by
it's kind
the
of
way.
screwed up. But we're using Zoom like everybody else is using, and it's actually it works quite well. But we were kind of talking about this earlier. Everybody's using the internet right now, so it's kind of I'm sure it's experiencing high levels of traffic. So we're going to go ahead and do a take two real quick. Charlie's mic cut out, and then mine cut out. We don't know what happened. But basically, I'm planning on releasing the previous episode that I haven't uploaded yet, and this one kind of back to back. So we'll kind of do a double feature
Double feature,
of the
like Grindhouse. We
yeah
made that joke the first time, but
yeah
I'll let you catch that.
right. So and no one's gonna hear it, so we might as well say it again.
Yeah.
So we kind of we touched on this briefly last week, but we wanted to bring more authenticity to our beer experiences to the
Yeah.
show. So we both have beers that we haven't talked about yet. And then on the previous one, Charlie, you started, so you might as well share with everyone what you're drinking, which is local, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. So, by the way, guys, if you're new to tuning into this podcast, Matt and I, we're out of DFW. I'm Dallas, and Matt's in Arlington right now. So, a lot of the beers that we talk about, most of them, a good amount of them, are going to be local in the DFW area. The one I'm having is one of those. It's out of McKinney, Texas, Tubbs Brewery. So, I'm going to try to not spill this on my laptop. This is their national standard. It's a light American ale. It's about 5.2%. First of all, I love that can art. Can art is always so cool with craft beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Breweries. I mean, honestly, just like it says here, it's crisp and crushable. Very crisp, very smooth. When the weather gets better and we're able to go to pools, hopefully, this would be a good one to sit out by the pool and have, or on the patio on a nice hot summer day. But it's really, these kind of beers you can have any time of the year. It's just super light, super smooth. You could definitely have a couple of them. Easy to blow through a six pack. I got it. Stores do that. Make your own six pack.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't do it with this one. I did it with another one. This one I actually got the six pack of, and they are in stores now. So if you want to try any Tubbs beer, I mean, definitely grab this one, the national standard. And Matt, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking something that you actually drank before. This is Kona Big Wave.
That is a really good, and that's actually one that I had in that make your own six pack.
Yeah, and I bought this in a six pack. So this is a golden ale. It's 4.4%. It's really smooth. It's good. It's crisp. And I noted in the first recording that on there are the islands of Hawaii,
That is really
which is pretty cool. And then it says Liquid Aloha on it. But yeah, like the artwork is obviously very much Hawaiian. But it's a great drinking beer. It's very like I said, it's very smooth. It's obviously being that that ABC, it's or ABV, it's very very drinkable, and it's very very smooth. It even tells you that when it was bottled. So this was actually bottled on October 8th of 2019. But anyway, so I've heard these beers are actually the most tricky ones to make because you can really kind of screw them up easier than the darker beers, which you would think it may be the other way around. I don't know. I don't brew beer, so I'm not really sure, but I thought that was interesting. And I can't remember who told me that, but people were saying that these can actually be the harder beers to make. And I wish I brought like a clear glass that I could pour it in, so because I like to see the color too.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
people can even probably tell.
I will say the artwork on that bottle just really sticks out. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, that is what's so cool about a lot of craft beer and breweries is sometimes you buy the beer because that artwork like traps you in. Like anything that Deep Ellum puts out, Deep Ellum Brewing here in Dallas, I mean, their can artwork is phenomenal. And it just always catches your eye. There's something about craft beer and and the artwork on their cans and bottles. But I really like the Kona Big Wave design there.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Speaking of can art, real quick,
mhm.
Steam Theory Brewing Company here in Dallas, they just started canning a couple of their beers. One of their first beers that they released on tap, which is Singularity, and Hops Against Humanity, which is their IPA. Singularity is their blonde. We were talking about it before we record about the can art on there.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Oh, it's a cat. Hold on.
Cat.
I might as well let the cat.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, cats.
Yeah, we have animals. You know, we're doing this from our home settings. My Chihuahua, Chewy,
It's all right.
by my side. Can't. So, you know, hey, we're doing this like a lot, like all the shows, podcasts, talk shows, or everything doing from home right now. So you got to kind of rolling with it. So you may have some animal guest appearances.
Oh yeah, she's
these,
already
recordings.
She's already meowing and making herself known. All right.
Speaking of animals, I see there's a koala in the back there.
What?
In the back of on that shelf, there's a koala bear.
Yeah, Hillary's parents brought that back for her. Okay, so everybody, this is Tonks. She just jumped in my lap.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna.
She's a great cat. She's pretty shy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hillary's parents went on a cruise, and I think they went to Australia or something, and they brought that back for her. And in that box, hold on,
I can kind of see
the box
just to let
Tonks.
people who are listening.
Come on, Tonks, what are you doing, girl? Hey, this is my show.
Blocked camera. Yeah, Tonks is like, hey, you need a producer? I'm here. Oh wow, yeah. Tonks is all up in our camera.
She always does.
Tonks is like, hello.
Yeah.
This is funny. Right now, all I see is fur and glasses.
Yeah.
It's like, Matt, your beard just grew 10 times in the last few seconds. That's what it looks like.
Get down.
You got Jumanji beard. Okay, there you go. There we go.
Yeah, in that box right here where my finger is at, that's my Lego.
Right here, Chewy. Chewy's like, I was sleeping while you're doing this. All right.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's
happy. So as you can see, we have pets.
Yeah. So that box up there is my Lego Millennium Falcon, actually.
Oh, nice.
And it's missing a few pieces because I've had to move it, so it's missing some. So I need to rebuild it. And so what you can do is you can actually make note of what you're missing, and you can go to Lego's website and you can order those specific pieces for it, which is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I
love anything Lego Star Wars. I think is really cool.
Yeah, and have you watched that Fox show Lego Masters?
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. A friend of mine is on that show, Crystal Star. Her and her buddy are on there, and they've cosplayed.
Crystal and Amy, I think.
Yeah, Crystal and Amy. So
yeah,
so very proud of her being on that show, and I love Will Arnett. I'm a big Will Arnett fan.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to, we talked about a couple of his shows. Of course, he was in Arrested Development in the early 2000s with Jason Bateman and Michael Cera. And then we were talking about the show, I think, and in actually the episode we haven't released yet, but just listening to them in order, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. But Flaked was a really good show. We both were talking.
Flaked. I was sad when it didn't renew for. It was only like 2 seasons. 2.
I think it was only 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 seasons. Brilliant writing. Very. What would you say? I guess it was like a dramedy. There was a lot of humor, but it's about a guy, Will Arnett's character, who is supposed to be like a sponsor AAA who's had issues with alcohol and a drunk driving incident, and he's in a way kind of everybody's kind of support system, but he's also not good at the whole relationship stuff.
Yeah, he's not good. That's a good way of putting it. I mean, his character just has a really pretty, it's a pretty dark past, and then the show's really about him trying to move past that as best as he can, and while trying to maintain like normal relationships, and it's just a struggle for him. but like I really liked it. I really liked the style of it, and yeah, I was just like, I got into it maybe after the first season was released, and then maybe even after the second season. I can't remember. I was kind of a late comer to that show, but I really did like it.
It was one of those Netflix gems, you
Yeah,
know,
it
one of
was
those
kind of
like,
under the radar.
yeah, not a lot of promotion. It was one of those you
Mm,
definitely. I remember well, it was actually a former boss of mine at work. Uh, also watched it. I was like, "Oh, you watch Flake?" Like it's one of those shows that you pass on. Another show that was great on Netflix too. It came out about the same time as Flake was called Love. That was a lot of fun too. That was just about relationships and another character that's kind of self destruction, self
yeah.
sabotaging as well. Netflix has a lot of good shows. Ozark, I'm fixing to start Ozark season 3. I binge watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched. I'm on season 3 right now.
Oh, you are? Is it
Hmm.
good?
That's pretty good. It's the birds are you people already probably get this feeling from watching like the first episode or 2 episodes, but like the birds just keep getting deeper and deeper into this whole thing with the Navarro cartel and all that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like it won't let up. They're a part of this now. This is like a part of them now. So, um, but yeah, like it's just I don't know. You have to see where you just want to see where it goes for them. They're
Yeah, I
just
mean, I think the writing's very well. It's great to see. I know you're a Arrested Development fan. It's great to see Jason Bateman really turn more into this dramatic actor. Not that he
right.
didn't have it in him, but it's kind of like with Bryan Cranston, with Breaking Bad. These aren't roles that they usually get casted to play. He does a great job. The whole cast is great. I love Julia Garner, who plays Ruth. I think Ruth is one of the most strongest, boldest characters on television right now. I mean,
Yeah, she's my
you know,
favorite character in the entire show.
she's by far, and she grows over time. Like, she just gets tougher, stands her ground. She calls it like she sees it, and I
Yeah.
think she's one of the best written characters right now, whether streaming, regular TV. In my opinion.
No, I think you're right because her arc is very unique compared to a lot of other people. It's pretty complex. She's yeah, it's been really cool to kind of see her become the character that she has become. And in season 3, she's even growing past from what she was in season 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, she's easily my favorite character in the whole show.
yeah, I'm interested to tune in and watch it. That's what I plan to do this next
Yeah,
coming week when I'm not working from home. Is binge watching Ozark season
right.
3. There's so much on right now.
Hmm.
To catch up. I'm excited. I haven't seen a release date, but I think we talked about it before on the podcast. Barry with Bill
Yeah.
Hader.
Hmm.
I'm waiting for that next season release. That's a really good show. Another actor that does more comedy that does it's a dramedy as well. Like it's
Yeah.
about an hitman that falls in really love with acting, falls into an acting class, and Henry Winkler's in it, and Stephen Root is in it. It's a great show on HBO.
Right. That's cool.
Are you binge watching anything that you are going back and looking at, like anything old shows, or is there anything outside of Ozark you're watching that's newer?
Let's see. So really the only shows I've been watching are like the Lego Masters show, and I'm really picky about reality TV. I only watch certain
Yeah.
things, and that one's just more engaging than most reality shows. Uh, I've actually been watching MASH, the 70s
Oh, awesome.
sitcom, which I really like. Well, is it a sitcom?
It's not
No,
really a sitcom, but
no.
it's comedy, but
I think it's a
there's
dramedy, I would say.
yeah, it's drama. It's a comedy drama.
Yeah, I mean it's about everybody should know what this show is, but basically it's about a MASH unit, the 4077th in Korea, in during the Korean War, and it really centers around Hawkeye Pierce, who's played by Alan Alda, and really like one of those ensemble casts like Gary Berghoff or wait, is that his name? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not. I can't think of his name. Plays Radar, and then you have like Harry Morgan and just a lot of people in the show that it's like an ensemble cast. Like there's all of them. Of course, you have Jamie Farr as cross-dressing Klinger trying to get a Section 8 so he can go back home to Toledo, Ohio. And it's pretty interesting how it happened upon that show, because I was like either in high school or college, and I was staying up late studying one night. And usually those kinds of shows are rerun at night, or like on Nick at Night, or some like TV Land, those kind of and then I watched it. I actually took a second and watched it, and I realized like I liked it. And then my dad told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, that was your grandpa's favorite show to watch."
And it's a hit show,
and I still haven't finished it. And
there's so many, like Cheers. I would love to go back and watch Cheers. Seinfeld.
Frasier's a good one.
Yeah, Seinfeld's a good one. One that you.
No, man, I said Frasier.
There's Frasier.
Yeah.
How about Sopranos? Now it's time for Sopranos.
Yeah, I've probably watched that series through twice.
Wow. Because of what, 6? How many seasons? 6, 7?
Yeah, something like that. 6 or 7 seasons.
Sopranos was kind of that, and we've talked about this a long time ago. Sopranos on HBO was like that really breakthrough series that really pushed the envelope. And I think with HBO shows, like really was that flagship series that like, okay, you want something different, raw, like here you go. That show and 6 Feet Under, and of course The Wire as well. All those, and even Sex and the City were shows that like, okay, we're gonna really push this drama. We're gonna really push this envelope.
Right.
And that's where the writing felt like, as good as movies, like as some Oscar movie.
Right. Like every episode was like an hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were right. They did sort of push the envelope on that, because David Chase was basically writing a character. The main character was really more of like an antagonist. He's like not a good guy, Tony Soprano. And then you find yourself like, trying to like kind of rooting for the bad guy, kind of like shows like Breaking Bad and Dexter and shows like that. Dexter's more of like, ethically unclear because he's killing bad guys, but killing is wrong, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was very experimental, and that was a very groundbreaking show. And they were kind of afraid that what it would lead to, like, like, oh, this is like, you're writing, it's violent. There's, the show's really about a bad person, and you find yourself wanting him to do well and grow his, organized crime family. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that's probably my favorite show of all time, honestly, is The Sopranos. And that's when I discovered it in college. And I wrote like a feminism kind of paper on it, talking about like how the women are treated in the show. And I wrote it for my feminist professor, who gave me an A on it. So just know your audience is all I'm saying. So
Well,
really
that
helps.
show's iconic, and I have seen some seasons. I kind of not all in order. I do want to go back. I want to watch that and Boardwalk Empire. I'm a big Steve Buscemi fan.
Which one was it?
Really a role.
Okay.
Boardwalk Empire. It really.
Okay.
Steve Buscemi. It really gives him that lead jump.
Yeah.
He's always the character side supporting actor, which he does a really good job at. But this really puts him in the front and center.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi was actually in Sopranos as playing Tony's cousin. He was the other Tony.
He's definitely by far one of the best character actors out there. Of course, he's in a couple Adam Sandler movies, Fargo.
Reservoir Dogs.
But Reservoir Dogs, which we in college used to always quote, one of the most quotable movies of all time. Mr. Pink, Mr. Pink.
Yeah, he was Mr. Pink. One of my favorite scenes was with him when he was talking about, he's like, he got in an argument with Harvey Keitel's character about that. Um,
Mr. White. No, Mr. Yeah, Mr. White.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
Mr. White. Yeah, and they got
yeah.
into an argument about that.
You don't tip? I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
you don't tip people at McDonald's. Yeah, just
Yeah,
I don't tip.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that. I'm a big fan of Steve Buscemi. Actually, one of his best roles too, which is a very small role. Well, I want to say small, but minor role was in the movie The Messenger with Woody Harrelson and Ben Foster. And that movie is about guys in the military who go unfortunately have to go to to people who've lost their kids in war, and they have to deliver the message. And Steve
Yeah,
Buscemi, spoiler alert, is one of the parents that they have to visit about their son passed away, and it's just such emotional. And to see him in that role, he's always kind of the goofy character outside of Boardwalk Empire, and that he's
yeah,
always the goofy kind of character actor. And that one, he's this emotional. Uh, uh, his parents that just lost their son found out. It's very touching, very emotional, that scene. That movie, I mean, it'll make you feel uncomfortable, but it's yeah. But anyway, Steve Buscemi is awesome.
yeah. Yeah, he's one of those kind of guys that, like, when you see him, like, you know exactly who he is. Like, I never have I've seen him and been like, what's that guy's name again?
Yeah,
I always know
yeah.
who
No,
he is.
I would like to see him lead more though. I really do. I feel like he has the chops to do it.
Yeah.
I would. Here's a movie. And I'm going to pitch it here on Brewing Conversation. Our buddy Bryant. We're both film guys. We do films together and stuff like that, and we've always talked about Steve Buscemi.
Hmm.
So what a lot of people don't know about Steve Buscemi is he was a firefighter back in the day, and when 9/11 happened, he went to his old New York firehouse just to see how he could help and stuff like that. I think whether this would be a TV show or movie, probably movie, him playing a fire chief.
Yeah.
Uh, I think like role wise, like because it'd be authentic, and I think he could do a great job, and you would know. I want to like Steve Buscemi is one of those actors I want to see get an Oscar nomination and even an Oscar. He's right up there with William Dafoe and those guys that are and Gary Oldman who were all phenomenal character actors.
Yeah.
Um, and you always see the character, you don't see the actor. I mean, it
Right.
kind of the fact that they play all these interesting, unique, eccentric characters becomes who they are almost in real life. It's like Steve Buscemi, he's the character. He's Mr. Deeds, he's Crazy Eyes. Like you said, Mr. Pink, and that. But I would love to see him in a dramatic fire as a fire chief.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, it'd be good to see him, take a more of a front row kind of seat in a film.
Yes, definitely movies. We see he could do it in a TV
Yeah.
series, which once again, Boardwalk Empire is one of those like Sopranos that could be a movie. I mean, the way it's written, the visual, everything about it's like a movie. But he just doesn't, I feel, get those opportunities as much. He's always like, once again in that kind of supporting, funny, goofy, out there role. Uh, but I would like just like William Dafoe, who we're starting to see more in the lead role now, more in the independent, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I would like him to really be given that opportunity to shine in the lead.
Right. Well, obviously, coronavirus is like the big thing right now. I kind of want to talk about, like, what have you seen, daily that that this is, like, making you realize this is the new reality. Like, what changes in the environment have you seen people?
Um,
What's been your experience so far?
Well, it's one of those things where obviously, and you've seen it too, because you're one of the essential businesses that is still working and out there.
Yeah.
I still go to the store. I'm cautious, obviously. I mean, that's people are still going to the stores, but you still don't see as many people out. I will say this: about the same time every day, around 5-ish, 6 o'clock, people are out in my apartment community walking together and running. And I know that's technically not ideal, but I think just that's the one time where people are kind of okay, I've been at home all day, because like I said, I'm working from home. A lot of people are, or unfortunately aren't working. They just want to get out outside of that bubble.
Right.
Uh, but I see it from more of a social media standpoint where there's been a lot of people that we know personally that have had birthdays, and everyone's doing like what we're doing now, with their parents and families and friends. They're having to do a virtual birthday party um,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think what's changed is just people aren't able to really gather like they normally do, go out
Right.
like last weekend. Actually, we've had Little Giants a couple times on here. They did a set from their home for everybody. They're doing one tonight, although this will be posted later. They're going to continue to do this where they do a live stream performance, which you're seeing on a bigger scale with a lot of artists. But last weekend would have been a time where we would have gone to the Ginger Man here in Dallas, which is a fun local uh,
Yeah.
bar that does live music. So I think what's changed a lot more is one, people obviously are a little bit more distant, but also just, yeah, everyone's having to kind of do what we're doing right now, but, uh, find ways to connect with friends and family without being in the same room as them. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, it's been interesting, but from your standpoint, what have you seen? Because you're still having to go out based on what you do as a profession.
Um, so I've seen, well, for one, obviously, probably the most obvious thing is a lot, I guess, like probably 60% less traffic on the road. I don't ever come in contact with like traffic jams or anything like that. There's way fewer people on the road.
Yeah,
It's really bizarre. It's like, I when I go out and I see like people shopping and stuff. They're wearing masks. They're wearing gloves. People aren't. People are talking further away from each other.
yeah,
Um, it's just weird because it's so movie like, and and it's just, even the stores are taking measures and they're printing floor stickers to tell people, stand, one person stand here, one person stand here,
yeah,
and then a lot of them are, I see at every store there's some employee there at the front door with all the shopping carts, spraying them all down, wiping them down for people to take. um it's it's like, it started to sink in when the companies are spending money to print these floor signs and everything. And even now, like, I catch myself talking to somebody and I'm like, wait, maybe I should step back a few more feet. Not
yeah,
that not like I'm a close talker, like,
yeah. But I mean, it because they're also now saying experts and doctors are saying it can, just by you speaking, can spread. So I mean, that's why the CDC, we don't want to get political here, but I mean, we're saying stuff that's already been said. That they prefer people to wear masks. Whether you're a lot of people are making their own masks just because doctors, hospitals need so many masks right now.
yeah.
The medical ones that we usually see that people might buy during flu season.
Right.
But but
N95s.
I know like Walmart and Target and that have reduced the amount of people going into a store at a time and are one way aisles. Because that was my big thing about this was like I get the part of having stores open,
Hmm.
to an extent, but how are you going to like control the aisles? Because I've gone a couple times to the store recently, and that was my thing. It's like, I mean, I get the 60 when it comes to the checkout, but in the aisles, that's where it gets a little gray area. But it looks like some stores now are taking that initiative of one-way aisles, and that I still feel like once you get up to the cashier, that's where it still gets great too, because I mean, I saw where you would swipe your card, they're putting kind of like a Ziploc bag over it, but you're still next, not unless if you're wearing a mask and they're wearing a mask, you're still right there. You're not 6 feet when you're at the cashier. So I don't know how that's gonna be really resolved. More people I've seen are doing the self checkout, which of course can prevent being within an employee that way, but
Yeah.
I think right now everyone's just doing the best they can, the best effort. I mean, everything's kind of suggested right now. I don't know if they're gonna eventually go to a more, hey, I mean, you got to wear a mask to
Right.
come in, because cases. I'm just saying cases aren't decreasing yet, and those are still kind of loopholes as everybody's coming in, and so and in Dallas here, they've extended the stay at home till May 20th. It was originally April 30th, so now it's May 20th. So um, it's going to be interesting. I will say during this time, it's probably, wow, this can be a very scary, frustrating time. As
Yeah.
the positives have been, it's probably pushed you to do some things, take care of home projects, read.
Yep.
Maybe you are connecting more with friends and family don't usually do. Like, even if it's like this is connecting. We're such a text based society. That's just real. That's just true. That, but we also are so used to being around people, jobs and stuff, to where it's like, okay, I mean, you can only text so much. I can't be in the same room. Okay, so let's do this Zoom, and this is why this is such an awesome platform. Um, Maybe it's gotten people to reach out more to people that they don't normally get to, and it makes you get creative. Hey, I'll say this: like, I'm on it, TikTok. Say what you want about it. I mean, it's fun. It's getting more people to just have fun, and
Yeah.
that's what I think
It's
is
kind of like
important.
the new Vine, you know?
It's the new Vine. It's fun to do these dance challenges. They have all these little challenges and video stuff, and a lot of celebrities, of course, are on it. But outside of even that, right now is like, you know, the most important thing is to have healthy distractions during this, because stress isn't going to help either.
Right.
Um, so finding fun things to do, creative things at home, because there are still people who are working from home, and there's a stress in that as well, being that this is tough for a lot of businesses, and but the main thing is, yeah, like what we're doing right here, a podcast, and find some kind of outlet that you can do at home
Yeah.
that take your mind off of all this the bad stuff going on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's this, all the stores tell you to keep 6 feet away from people as best as you can. They don't expect people to be able to do it at all times, but people have been pretty good about staying away
Yeah.
from other people. The only issue I've been seeing is a group of people will go to the store, which you're like, okay, it doesn't take all of you to go to the store. So like a whole group of them go. So I
Yeah.
just kind of want to tell everyone, like, as of today, there are 1.1, there's like 1,192,000 cases confirmed.
Wow.
Uh, and then as far as the U.S., 305,000 now. The next country, and as far as numbers goes, is Spain with less than half that at 124,000. So it's obviously here. We're probably the epicenter of it now, and we will be for a while, because it looks like it's, they're saying probably, I think they've said like a couple million people or something like that. They're not really sure. It's
Yeah.
really hard to track this and control it when it's gonna come. It's still coming through the country, and even then, they're talking about a possible second wave later on that will come.
I've heard fall,
Yeah,
which would be, I
I've heard
mean,
like September,
I've heard
October,
like, yeah,
second wave.
October, which is it's very tough, and it's just tough because we're not trying to get on like a soapbox here, but we're where everybody's mindset. We don't know what to make of this. It's just a huge curveball, and it's unfortunate,
Yeah,
and just uh, it's a yeah, it's hard to make it out, and the tough thing you just think is. All the jobs, we mentioned local breweries and all the local businesses that right now, can't have customers other than, alternative ways like pickup and delivery, but you still thrive having people in your businesses. And to think that 1 second you can be open again, and then this hits again, this recycles again, and then you're back to where you were before, and which is not great, whether you're a small business or big business, any business to have, and you have to suspend again and cut jobs again. And so, I mean, you know, I'm looking at this. I'm trying to do the fingers crossed thing where that, by something we can find some kind of alternatives or some kind of preventative. Because I've had so many discussions on this, and it's like, this is just something. It's like, why does this make this different from anything that we've seen before? Because it's well, one, let's look at the flu, and this isn't from a expert opinion and stuff like that. It's just flu, and I've been around for a long time. So throughout decades, we've found ways to somewhat prevent.
Mm-hmm.
This is something new. This is something new and something strong and rapid that, we don't really, we're trying to figure it out. And when we're in the beginning of the figuring out, I mean, it's really tough to know when we're going to see, like, not just a reduction, but like a way, because right now I don't know that there's really something they have that can, like during flu season, where a shot, which doesn't fully mean you're gonna not get the flu, but somewhat of a preventative, I should say, because we're so new to this, and this seems to be a lot stronger than any of the flu strains. And they're not calling it really a flu, but still, people are trying to make those arguments. Well, it's the flu. And it's like, not really, and no matter what, it's new and it's strong. So we're trying to figure out things, and it can take a while to figure out things.
Yeah. That's all we can do is really wait. I mean, really optimistically, the U.S. has the most confirmed cases, but we have fewer deaths in the U.S. than Spain, than Italy. Yeah. We're actually faring better against other countries. It's just that we have more of an infection rate, and some countries aren't really truthful about their numbers. Places like China and Iran, they're not really telling us. They're not giving us vital information. I mean, it's crazy because Chinese doctors back in December, about 10 of them were trying to warn everybody, like, this is a problem. This is going to become a problem. And the Chinese government actually arrested them for spreading rumors and things like that. It's really crazy. And they're not really being truthful about what we're dealing with. So really, it's really up to other countries, including ours, to really figure it out. And, I just wanted to take a second to, tell everybody, like, just a huge thank you to the medical staff and the people working in grocery stores and the police and the fire departments for still being out there and working. And, the doctors and nurses, I know that they're being overrun. There's not enough N95 masks to go around, but I know they're working on that. Some, the private sector has kind of stepped up, and, some companies were making this. Now they're making masks, which is really cool, because people expect the government to be able to, like, hand over a bunch of masks and ventilators, but they can't do that. They don't have the resources. So it's really up to heads of companies to contribute, and that's what we're seeing. And as bad as this kind of is, I am seeing a lot of good things, and people taking care of each other and all that, and it's good to see. So it's just another thing for us to come over, as it's not as a nation anymore. Now it's like in the entire world, we need to, like, rise above it. So well, I guess okay, we don't have to talk about that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah. We just, it grows from, how everything's affected and right now. But
yeah,
like I said, to the positives, there's there's so much you can do at home. There's, like I said, so many great places. One thing that I've been also doing a lot, just discovering new music, love it. Matt and I have a band that we really like, that actually are craft beer fans, Manchester Orchestra. And the lead singer, Andy Hull, has had this side project that I just now found on Spotify. That's the beauty of Spotify, is when you're listening to something, there's recommendations. Or will just play it if you have it on shuffle.
Right.
And Andy Hall has this band called this side project called Bad Books, and I just discovered Bad Books, and I've been addicted to the latest album that was released, I think, about a year ago. And it's awesome. And actually, I think Andy said on his Bandcamp, he's releasing old demos from like '08 to 2010, and it's like $7, and every purchase it will go to like raise for what's going on. So
Right.
that's awesome. Thank you, Andy. And music right now is something, and always it brings people together. It takes your mind off of things. I think it's very important to listen to music during this time.
Yeah, for sure.
During any issue or bad time. So been doing a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something that I think you'll appreciate.
While he's walking away, I'll just there's a koala on that shelf. Yeah. Check out Bad Books. Andy Hall, lead frontman of Manchester Orchestra. It's just great. One of my favorite tracks. Here, let me tell you the album while Matt's doing that.
Maybe like I can't remember when it was. It was like maybe the Saturday before last. Arlington still had non-essential places open, and I went to this place. It's Charlie. It's right by Rockfish. No, not Rockfish. What's the name of that seafood restaurant? By Jay Gill's. Flying Fish.
Flying Fish.
Yeah. So there's a vinyl store over there called Truth Vinyl, and it's a really cool place. I actually called them ahead. Sorry, I forgot to plug in my computer.
That's okay.
It's like
I think it's so cool. Yeah, Matt's a big vinyl guy. I think it's so cool that vinyl is still a thing, and newer artists of now are making vinyls of album.
So I went into Truth Vinyl. I called them first to see if they're open. He said they were. And then a few hours later, I went in there, and I talked to the guy. I walked in there, and he said, "Are you the guy that called earlier?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, 5 minutes ago, Arlington told us we have to shut down after today for at least 2 weeks." And so I was like, "Well, I mean," I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'll give you some business though before I leave." And one of the albums I found was
Black Mile from Sun. That is a great album.
And it's a really cool album. Like they're pretty generous with these because they will often put like cool extras in there. So this is like from inside.
Oh man!
And then these are the lyrics on this page.
That is awesome. So for the listeners who will hear this on audio format, Matt's got the album of Manchester Orchestra's last album, A Black Mile from the Sun. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It is awesome. But the album artwork is great, which you don't get when you're purchasing it on like iTunes and Spotify.
Right,
and
digital.
If I miss with CDs,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it comes in 2 discs
nice.
Well, I guess you can call them discs. 2.
And you have a
LPs
digital vinyl, like a Bluetooth. Didn't you say that? Didn't you show me?
It's actually it's pretty close to the one that Jay has. It's the same brand.
Our buddy Jay, yeah.
Audio Technica is the brand. It's Japanese made, but it's really good quality. Because I tried to spend not that much money on one, and it's just not worth it. You need to spend something for a record player. You need to spend at least $100, I would say, on something good. But it plays them well, and it's Bluetooth enabled, so I can carry a Bluetooth speaker and put it out in the garage, but listen to a vinyl. The only bad thing about it is that when that side's over, I have to go in there and flip it. Yeah. Close the lid and start it again. But I got into it. I mean, it really, honestly, it's like, and most of the time, here's the cool thing about these. If you buy these, they will always come with like something inside that says, enter this code and you can get the digital version too at no additional cost. So if you buy this, chances are you can get the digital version too.
Interesting. Yeah. That's cool.
So I got that album, and I got a Who album, a Beatles album.
Which Beatles album and who?
So the Who album is Who Are You?
No, listen,
That's that album.
honestly, that's a classic.
Yeah, I was happy when I found that one because I used to have my dad's and I don't know what happened to it.
Mhm.
So I found that one in good shape. Beatles is Let It Be. I was looking for Abbey Road, but I couldn't find it. But I probably can, no problem. They're big enough to where their vinyls aren't hard to find.
Yeah.
And then what else did I find? Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. It's like my favorite Beach Boys album. It's a really good. It's like one of the highest rated albums of all time, actually. For those of you who don't know, it has like wouldn't it be nice and um yeah uh has a lot of like Caroline Knows, Sleep John
Yeah.
B has like a lot of good tracks on there. Um, but yeah, it was just really cool to go in there, and I bought several. I think I bought like 4 or 5. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, I saw that one and I got pretty excited because I was telling you, I was like, I really would like to find that one on a on an LP, and I did. So I have them and um, damn it, I'm drawing a blank. I have that out. I have another
I would
instrumental
love to
band.
get. I want to
Spill.
do that. I want to get into vinyl. I want to get Rush, Zeppelin.
Yeah. Oh, This Will Destroy You. I have one of
Oh, this was
theirs.
yes. You talked about that.
Yeah.
That's another band I've been listening on repeat. This Will Destroy You.
Mhm.
Great instrumental rock band out of originally San Marcos, Texas.
Yeah. And speaking of bands, my friend Charlie he went to Texas State actually. He and they used to have this band called Slam Dunk like 10 years ago. They won Battle of the Bands down in Austin, so they were able to cut like a record and everything down there, which is really cool. Um, they have albums like Noble Ancestry and some other things that they've released over the years. But they've been they haven't been recording anything. You know, one of the guys moved to New Orleans. He started like a taco shop called BB's Taco Shop. It's doing really well. It's pretty cool. Charlie works for Front Gate Tickets, so he travels a lot and deals with that. And I know a few of them. He was the drummer, and he's I think in Austin. He's like a math teacher, an algebra teacher, or something like that. But anyway, they came back, and this is their band. It's called Crooked Numbers,
Oh,
and their album's called Decade. And I listened to it, and it's pretty good. This is Charlie right here.
love that beard. Charlie's got a good beard.
Yeah, and that's Daniel Vega. He's the other guy, and
Yeah, Charlie. You said Charlie also used to work on sports radio for the Horn down there, right?
yeah, I think he did work for the
Yeah.
Horn for a while. I've known him
Charlie Day,
since.
by the way, not the same Charlie Day from
Yeah,
Always Sunny, but got
yeah.
the beard though, like Charlie Day looks like.
Oh yeah, I would say it's even longer. But yeah, I would just encourage people to go check him out on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
You know, they've Slam was actually pretty popular down there, and I went to their shows a few times and everything, and but yeah, I would encourage you guys to check them out. It's pretty good. It's good music. It's they've pretty much envisioned it to be what Slam Dunk would be if they were still around. So
yeah.
you know, I would say the sound has matured, but it's great. And yeah, I encourage people to check them out. They're on Bandcamp for those of you that don't know. Um, so what else do we have to talk about?
Well, actually, last night on Disney Plus, Onward came out. You know, I don't watch a lot of Pixar movies or a lot of animated movies, but I saw Onward and it was great. It stars Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. It's a kind of a fantasy story about two siblings that are elves. But it's kind of cool because it's like it takes a mystical world but modernizes it. There's cars and stuff like that, fast food joints. Excuse me. And it's about two siblings, two brothers that are trying to. Their father has been gone. I won't give the whole plot away, but they try to do this spell to bring him back, and only his legs are kind of these pants legs that is supposed to be their father. So it's like an incomplete body. So they have to go on this quest to try to get the full body of their dad. So
I've
it's
heard
a
good
fun
things
family
about it.
story.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. My family were talking about it because, I guess tomorrow we're actually going to use this app Zoom to, talk to each other.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in a while, except for my dad. I saw him because he's out working like I am, and he actually was pretty close to me one day. And, he called me that morning, but I hadn't answered. So I called him back and he said, "Hey, I found some masks and some gloves if you want them, because I know you're out still working." And I said, "Sure." I mean, I'll be in South Fort Worth for most of the day today. And he said, "Okay." Well, and I said, "Well, let's just meet up." And he said, "All right." So we met up and we talked for a while, and it was good to see him because I haven't seen him in weeks, and right when it started, like this whole pandemic started in like what, March, that early part of March,
Yeah,
basically.
during spring break time.
So, well, yeah, maybe closer to mid-March, but we were supposed to go camping and everything, and my dad and I were both really looking forward to it, and then the weather won, and then of course, COVID-19 kind of screwed everything else over. So, but we were just talking, and we were like, both of us are, all we do is we go to work and we go home. Like, we don't go out to eat. The only time we go out is for essentials like groceries. So. But it was good to see him, that made me feel a little bit better, knowing that he's doing well, and he obviously saw that, I'm doing well too. So it's just, I think this is going to give people a new appreciation for how things were before this started.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you don't really, they always say it's kind of cliche, but it's like you don't know what you have until it's gone, and well, that's kind of true. So. And even sports, man. Like, so I'm wearing my Texas Rangers hat.
Yeah, it was supposed to be opening day about a
My
week
5950.
Yeah.
It's crisp. And
I'm wearing this build right there.
And I'm wearing that because they were supposed to. It kind of sucks, man, because Globe Life Park was completed basically, and they were gonna have, their season start there this year, and then this crap happens.
Yeah.
And and the XFL, the Dallas Renegades, they're getting. I think they played a couple.
They're in the beginning. They were in the midst of their season. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that got, pretty much, as far as I can tell, all sports are canceled. The Tokyo Olympics are canceled.
The UFC is still trying to make a pay-per-view event happen in 2 weeks, but what happened is the main event between Khabib, who's the UFC lightweight champion, and Tony Ferguson, which, by the way, talk about a cursed fight. This fight has been booked. This was its 5th time because in the past it was injuries, and now it's like a pandemic. And Khabib was stuck in Russia. He's originally from Dagestan and got stuck in Russia because of quarantine. And so as of right now, that fight's not happening. And they're trying to find a replacement. And the big controversy is, why are they still having this fight? Well, everything's going on, other sports. And, I think with Dana White, he just wants to bring entertainment for those at home. I personally think, this is my pitch. This is what I think they should do. If they're going to continue to have the fight, obviously no crowd, because I think what's going to be tough is people paying for a pay-per-view during this time. So many who are unemployed or who are employed, but, with everything going on, all that just get by. But for those that are
can't watch it at bars.
Yeah, we can't watch it at bar, and it's like 60, 70 at home. But what I think they could do is, for those willing to purchase, if they're going to still have this pay-per-view, is use the proceeds to go to, like, at least because the UFC's out of Vegas and, many businesses are shut down. And go to have the proceeds help those who are unemployed or businesses that are hurting there in Vegas.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. So Tom's Burgers and Grill over here in Arlington.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I didn't tell you this before, but actually I ordered some of their burgers to be delivered here, and they're pretty good, man.
I love their burgers. That's a little hidden gem out there in Arlington. Tom's Burgers. You know what's also great about them? Their breakfast. I had their pancakes years ago there. Their breakfast is just as good as their burgers. Like, not enough people, I feel, know about Tom's Burgers. I feel like they should be on, like, the Food Network, or Guy Fieri comes in and does like a
and it's easily accessible. It's right there on 30 and Cooper. Right there.
Tom's Burgers is awesome, and it's been there for a long time. But it's such an easy, like, pass by to get into downtown Arlington or go to the ballpark or
Yeah.
or Globe Life. It is, the burgers are great. Their mushroom Swiss burger is phenomenal. All their burgers are great, but their breakfast is like, wow.
Yeah. So I'm thinking probably I'm going to I'll probably order some food from them today. Hillary and I've been trying to, if we do get food delivered, we've been supporting local
Yeah,
places, smaller places, So,
I think it's important.
Mhm.
It's important because
The service industry's taking a hit. So,
it's taken a big hit, and all businesses thrive for in-store purchases. Of course, people sitting there tips, but the small businesses really, because they don't get that commercial advertisement support, and
yeah.
the best way is like people going and like, hey, check this place out, like we're just doing now. From that. Also, just to let people know too, a lot of these businesses are providing gift cards. That's very important to purchase a gift card. That just helps a lot. Actually, a couple of the Dallas Cowboys, the Hot Boys, DeMarcus Lawrence on the Hot Boys uh, website, they've been posting gift cards for businesses.
Cool. Yeah.
Shout out to the Hot Boys, DeMarcus Lawrence, and them Dallas Cowboys for doing that. That's awesome. Yes, support your local business for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the ones that are hurting the most right now.
Yeah.
What else we have to talk about? I mean, I did beat Doom Eternal.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all. I see. I haven't played any games. So talk about that without giving away. I know it. I know a lot of people talk about it. So.
Yeah. So that game, it's actually more story driven than previously. So it really talks about the origins of the main character, the Doomslayer. So it kind of tells you how, whenever you play the game, there's cutscenes and things that kind of explain like where he came from and his purpose and all that. So it's kind of like an origin story, kind of. So that was really cool. That game it would just get harder and harder and harder as you played, and it would get frustrating. But I did beat it, and there is a multiplayer function online, which is really cool. But that's a game like if you can go back and find some. There's a lot of things to discover and find in the game, like hidden things, collectibles, even cheat codes are actually around in the game. They're like little floppy disks. For those of you who aren't familiar with floppy disks, they're these data disks that were really square, but inside there was a disk, very, very thin magnetic film type stuff that we used to use to store data. And then CDs came around and then, did away with that. So anyway, kind of went off there on that, but I beat that game and it was really great. And now Hillary and I have both been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Switch. It's
Nice.
It's a relaxed game. It's just a gathering building game. It's with
Sort of like
soothing
Sims.
musings. It's not really. It's Nintendo's own game.
Yeah.
It's been around probably since like the Nintendo 64 era, but it's a pretty popular game. And the new one's called New Horizons, and you basically go to this island with a couple of other people, and you collect things around the island, and you start off with a tent, and then you eventually get onto a house, and eventually you'll build stuff all over the entire island, and you can go visit your friends' islands and things like that. So it's really for kids, I guess, like for the most part. But I know plenty of adults that have been playing and having a good time, especially now. So that's been my commitment. My new commitment during this whole thing is to go and play games and beat the ones that I haven't beaten yet. So I've been doing that, and trying to play music, and went on a bike ride. I uploaded some pictures on Instagram earlier of a bike ride. I found Hillary and I went on a hike about a week ago. We went last Saturday, and we found this really cool hiking trail that kind of, after you take it, it kind of leads us right back to our house, which was really cool. And trying to, because I like to get outside and like do something, even if it's yard work. I don't care. I like to go outside and do something, but you know, the weather kind of sucks right now. It's rainy and cold. So
Yeah, it's cold. It's rainy here in Texas. Texas, you just never know how the weather's going to be. One minute
yeah.
it's cold, one minute it's hot.
And that's why I did my yard work a few days ago, because I knew the weather was going to turn to crap. So I just got that done. And
Good
now
man.
he just kind of,
He's caught in my headphones. Hold on. Let's see. There he goes.
so he probably likes it that you're spending more time at home.
Yeah, he's like, do this all the time. You know, he's been
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, he's making his. He's not camera shy now. He's like, hey, I think what he's telling me is, I don't want to say it because he'll start yapping and he needs. This is his bathroom time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I need to feed our animals too.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's like, food and that's he's shaking. He's ready. He's not a fan of this cold weather though. He is a Chihuahua, so they don't have
Yeah.
much body fur. Neither do I. So I don't like
Right.
this weather either.
Yeah. Well, all right.
All right, man. Well, this was cool. This new, we're going to try to do this more often,
Right.
especially because we've had a YouTube channel for more than a year and we've never really had anything
I don't think we've
visual.
ever put video up yet. So
Yeah.
this
So
will be
this would be
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Well, where can people find you, Matt?
Really Instagram. Instagram. I do use Facebook and everything, but you know, if people want to find me on there, that's fine. I don't use it a ton, except for, you know, keep up with like other friends and family. But you can find me on Instagram. I don't post anything super important on there. Usually like pics of random things, like, you know, my tabletop record players on there, and sometimes beer pictures and coffee pictures. It ranges from all kinds of stuff. There's some from my Bahamas on there, but you can find me there at NTX_wine_dealer, which is North Texas wine dealer. I'm there. And that's pretty much it. I'm not really active on Twitter. I usually just use it for kind of like news or what people are talking about. That's pretty much it. What about you?
I've updated actually my Twitter and Instagram names. So both Instagram and Twitter is Charlie Van Jr. You know, because Big Charlie Van Sr. is on both of those as well. So, but yeah, and honestly, just look up Charlie Van. Most likely, I'll pop up. And I'm very active on both. You know, I'm always tweeting about everything going on, and especially during when there's fights going on or sports. But Instagram, I'm always posting. So, and for people, check out the Brewing Conversation Instagram page. Every Friday, just to let people know, nationwide, it's Nationwide Cheers Day at 5:00. So grab a beer, open it, cheers. It really is to support the local breweries and businesses out there. So, you know, just something fun to do and interactive without being in the same room. Take video, pictures of you cheersing.
Right.
Every Friday at 5 p.m. as of right now. But yeah, no, I'm just always active on Instagram. I've been posting a lot of food pictures, just cooking. And I think this is what a lot of people are doing right now is trying to do more cooking, and which is not only cost effective, it actually is fun because it's an experiment. Because I don't really follow a recipe. I just kind of throw together things and see what works.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess pretty much how it all started at one point, right?
Yeah. So just kind of go with it. But yeah, I think, but yeah, you can find both of us on social media for sure.
Right. Well, I mean, from all of us here at Brewing Conversation, which is Charlie and I.
And our pets, Tonks, right? That was Tonks earlier.
Yeah, that was Tonks.
Tonks and Chewy.
Yeah, we're just, just hoping everybody's out there dealing with this whole pandemic the best ways you can. Take care of yourselves, maintain social distancing, only go out when necessary, do your part. Everybody's been hearing this stuff for 2 weeks. We're just hope that everyone's doing well out there. People, I really feel for those out there that are losing their jobs or, being put on furlough. It's a tragic situation, but hopefully, we'll see some kind of light and we can all get back to some sense of normalcy. But until then, just Charlie talked about earlier, was just be positive, find things to do, get your mind off of it, read a book, watch a movie, do something you've never done before that you can still do.
Yeah, that you can do safely in your home. So the big thing is like all the hashtags that stay home, and but still find ways to have fun. Check out this podcast, Brewing Conversation. Most of the time we're talking about some fun. We're just having fun on here. Our pets may make some more appearances now that we're doing this from home and on video.
Yeah. Yeah, I held off as long as I could, and then I could even hear.
Yeah, sometimes you just
through here.
can't. You know what? They just gotta
Yeah,
roll it.
we'll find a way. All right. Well, until next week, everybody take care, and we'll see you.
All right.